So you're an entrepreneur. You've built something amazing, something successful, but now you're trapped by it, right? You're working harder than ever? Well, today we're diving into Dan Martell's incredible framework for buying back your time so you can stop just running your business and get back to building your empire. Let's jump in.
All right, first things first. We need to talk about a problem that almost every successful founder hits. It's this wall, this breaking point in your journey, and it has a name. It's called the pain line.
I mean, listen to this story. Dan's friend Stuart was absolutely crushing it in his business, but he was working 100-hour weeks. The pressure got so intense that he had a full-blown panic attack at Disneyland, of all places, surrounded by his family. It's a really intense example, but that feeling, it's a universal struggle for so many entrepreneurs.
See, Stuart had slammed right into his pain line. This is that moment where every single bit of new growth, every new client, every new success, it just feels painful. You're working more than ever, but it feels like you're actually going backward. And for a lot of people, this wall shows up right around that $1 million revenue mark, or once you've got about a dozen people on the team.
Now, when entrepreneurs hit this pain line, they usually react in one of three really destructive ways. First, they sell the business. The pain is just too much, and they tap out. Or two, they subconsciously sabotage their own success, making bad hires, chasing shiny objects that go nowhere. Or third, they just stall. They freeze up, avoid making big decisions, and the business just slowly withers. But here's the good news. There is another path. So, how do you break through the pain line instead of letting it break you? Well, the answer isn't about working harder. No way. It's about working smarter. It's about working differently. Let's take a look at the map to freedom.
The heart of this whole thing is a really simple cycle called the buyback loop. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, you audit your calendar. You find all those little tasks that drain your energy and could be done pretty cheaply by somebody else. And this isn't just about time, it's about your mental energy. Step 2, you transfer those tasks to people who, believe it or not, actually enjoy doing them. And step 3, you fill all that new free time with activities that you love and that actually drive the biggest results for your business. Okay, but how do you actually decide what's a high-value activity? And how do you know what to give away? That's where the DRIP matrix comes in. You can think of it like a GPS for your time, guiding you away from the low-impact stuff and toward the work that only you can do. Check this out. The whole goal here is to move from the bottom left quadrant to the top right. You start by delegating all those low-energy, low-value tasks, the stuff that bores you to tears. Then you start to replace yourself in some key roles. With that new time, you invest in yourself, you learn new skills, and all of this is designed to push you into that top right quadrant, produce. That's where you're doing the high-energy, high-value work that you absolutely love and that grows the business like nothing else.
All right, this all sounds great in theory, right? But let's make it super practical. The very first step you have to take is to put a real, actual dollar amount on your time. No, seriously, take a second and think about this. If you don't know what an hour of your time is actually worth, how on earth can you decide which tasks you should be doing versus the ones you should pay someone else to do? You can't. And here's the super simple math to figure it out. You take your total annual income, divide it by 2,000, which is roughly the number of work hours in a year, and then you divide that number by 4. Now, why 4? Because you should always be aiming for at least a 4 times return on your time. Let's use a real example. Say you make $200,000 a year. Your buyback rate is $25 an hour. That number is your new decision-making tool. It means you should be happy to pay anyone up to $25 an hour to take any task off your plate, because your time is far more valuable when it's spent on things that generate $100 an hour or more. So now you have your buyback rate. The next step is a time and energy audit. For just 1 week, you're going to log every single thing you do. Next to each task, write down what it would cost to delegate it. And then, and this is the really important part, you highlight every task that drains your energy in red and every task that gives you energy in green. Guess what your first hire does? They take over all those low-cost red items. So you've figured out what to get off your plate. Awesome. But now, who do you hire? And in what order? This is where so many entrepreneurs get it wrong. Let's climb the replacement ladder and see how to build your team the right way. Okay, this right here, this is probably the most important mindset shift in this entire framework. Stop thinking, I need to hire to grow. Start thinking, I need to hire to buy back my time. Because when you create more capacity for yourself, you're free to do the high-leverage work that actually leads to massive growth.
And this slide shows you the exact path to freedom.
It's a sequence. You start at rung 1, an admin assistant to get you out of your inbox. Then rung 2, someone to handle client delivery. Next is marketing to get leads in the door, then a salesperson to close them. And finally, rung 5, you bring in a true leader who can help you drive the outcomes. You follow these rungs in order, and you'll build a business that doesn't need you for every little thing.
But what if you're worried about things not being done your way? You're worried about losing that magic touch. Just use the 10-80-10 rule. You spend the first 10% of the project on ideation. You give your team the vision, the what, and the why. Then they go handle the 80%, the heavy lifting of execution. Then you come back in for the final 10% to integrate it and add that final polish. That way, your fingerprint is still on the work, but you didn't get bogged down in the middle 80%.
Now, this framework, it's not just about optimizing your business. It's so much bigger than that. It's about totally redesigning your entire life for more freedom, more impact, and honestly, more joy. A huge piece of this puzzle is changing how you lead. You have to stop being a transactional leader, stuck in that horrible loop of tell them what to do, check if it's done, tell them what's next. Instead, you become a transformational leader. You start with the outcome. You help them measure their own progress. And you coach the person, not the project. This is how you build a team that can think for itself.
And this doesn't stop at the office. This whole philosophy applies just as much to your personal life. You can buy back time at home by outsourcing cleaning, then meals, then errands, even getting help with family logistics like driving the kids around. The ultimate level? Having a family CEO who handles all the projects, travel, and maintenance, freeing you up completely.
Because this is what it's all about. This is the end game. When you systematically buy back your time at work and at home, you're eventually left with only 2 things on your calendar: spending truly quality time with the people you love and creating the unique value that only you can bring to the world. Everything else, it's handled.
So the final question really isn't about what you'll stop doing. It's about what you'll start doing. Once you have that freedom, that space, that energy, what new empire will you build? What kind of life will you create? That is the real power of buying back your time.